Hello students, welcome to the session of RDMS. In our today's lecture, we are going to see the smallest definitions of your entity relationship model, and they are very important in order to understand your practicals as well as your theoretical part. Okay, so just focus on them. Okay, now coming to first topic that I am going to discuss is your attribute. What is an attribute? Attributes are nothing but the fields that you are going to see in a relational database. Whereas attributes are nothing but the characteristics of an entity, I can say. As we have discussed in the earlier session, if say suppose there is a customer, then this customer will be having his customer ID, customer name, customer address. All these things will become what? Your attributes. Okay, and these attributes can be categorized depending on its usage or else depending on its strength, I can say. Okay, and see the first thing that we are going to discuss is simple attribute. What it is? Simple attribute. Simple attributes are the attributes which cannot be further divided into the pieces. Okay, for example, age of a person cannot be further divided. That kind of attributes can be called as simple attributes. Okay, for example, one more time I can say that what? Address. If you are having some address column, this address column can be categorized again. Okay, address can be taken in city, colony, pin code, and we can categorize them. We can divide them into pieces, but age cannot be divided into the pieces. So such kind of attributes will be called as simple attributes, and those attributes which can be further categorized or as further divided into the pieces, they are called as composite attributes. What it is? Composite attributes. Composite attributes. Simple man. If say suppose if you are having a name, if it is categorized like first name, last name, and then what I can say middle name, then it is a composite attribute. If you are having only name, then that will become what? Simple attribute. It should not further can be classified into pieces, I can say. That will be coming under your simple attribute. For example, in any table you people will be having ID cannot be divided. Okay, that ID can be considered as simple attribute. Okay, and composite attributes, example already I have given. Address can be categorized into cities, colonies, and pin code, like that. Okay, and after this we are having single value attribute and multi value attributes. Single valued attributes and multi valued attributes. What do you mean by single valued attributes? See, single valued attributes are the attributes in which we can enter only one value. And multi-valued attributes are the attributes in which you can enter multiple values. Example, as I have taken the age field, age attribute. For that, I can enter only one value. Every person will be having only one age. You should not say that I am 21. You should not say that I am no sir, I am 16. You should not say that. Why? Because they are having only one value into that particular column called age. Okay. For example, when you are entering gender, you people will be entering male, female, others. You should not say M. You should not say F. You should not go over multiple values over there. Those kind of attributes will fall under what? Single valued attributes. And the next one is multi-valued attributes. This example is given for the mobile numbers. Why? Because you people are using so many mobiles, so many SIM cards into the mobiles. So you people will not have only one number. Okay? And you people will be having one number for college, one number for home. Why? Because college people will call you home. So at that time you people will think. And when you want to call your home, then you people will call some other numbers. Okay? Like that. When you are having that column called phone number, you can have multiple numbers into that. For example, car model. In yesterday's example, we have taken a car. Car colors. Okay, car may have different colors. No? At that particular column, we can enter what? multiple colors into that. Okay, this is how we will be having attributes into our entity relationship model. And after this we are having one more topic called weak entity and strong entity. So simply we can say that what do you mean by weak? Those who can have stable alone. Okay, weak entities are the entities which will not have its own identity until or unless it depends on someone. Okay, simply I can say the entities which will depend on some other entities are called as weak entity. For example, if you are having student table and if you have designed one more table called marks, student and marks table will be established, marks table will be created when we are having student. If there is no student, then there is no meaning of creating what? Marks table. Okay, so consider if you are having one more example, if you are having a patient, then he must be treated with the doctor. If there is no patient, then there is no meaning of treatment. Okay, like that. If some entities exist, then only these particular entities will be coming into the existence. Such kind of entities are called as what? Weak entities. And strong entities are the entities which can uniquely identify. See, student is a unique entity, whereas a strong entity which cannot be dependent on any other entities, I can say. That is the reason they will be called as strong entities. Like this. Okay, we will be having different kind of issues with the entities. And as I told you people about the relation, even a relation can have the attributes. For example, in yesterday's example we have seen customer owns a car. We have seen this example in our last lecture. Now this relation can also have attribute like this. Own on date, own a color, okay, own a particular showroom. Okay, it can have some different kind of attributes onto the relationship also. Okay, and after this we are having one more terminology, that is derived attributes. Derived attributes. What do you mean by derived attributes? What do you mean by derived actually? See, derived means taking from something else. Means to say that we are deriving it from the existing thing, I can say. For example, if you are having a table, where you people will be having date of birth column and you people will be having age column. You should not enter age. When you are entering the date of birth, automatically age will come into this. Why? Because sometimes you people might have observed outside while you are filling any application form, you people will be entering your data, but automatically your age will be shown. Means to say that this age is derived from what? This data. If this data form is there, automatically we can derive what? Age. For example, if you are having subject 1, subject 2, subject 3, and you are having a total column, then this total can be combined. This total can be calculated from subject 1 to subject 6. Like this. If you are having such kind of attribute, those attributes are called as what? Derived attributes. Okay. And one more terminology that we left is, that's it. And CMA. You people might have asked for 4 marks these questions. Explain about specialization and generalization. What are that? Specialization and generalization. We will talk about that in a simplest manner. I will be discussing it. You people will be having one page of the board, but it is not mandatory that you should modify it. Okay? Specialization and generalization. These are the two concepts where people will derive the entities from the existing entities. Whether we are deriving the entities from the bottom to top or top to bottom. Depending on this, we have categorized specialization and generalization. And generalization. Next. Generalization. This is bottom up approach, I can say. This is a bottom up approach. Means to say that we will be categorizing the entity, we will be designing an entity depending on the number of entities which are there in a bottom side. For example, say consider if I am having a manager. I have taken this example from your material only, so that it will be easy for you to learn. Manager and software developer, and then we are having some other workers like accountants. Okay, all of them are working under what? Some company, right? He is also an employee, he is also an employee, he is also an employee. I can create one entity now, like employee. Employee may be manager, employee may be software engineer, employee may be accountant. So by considering these three entities, if I am forming one more relation, this generalization will be represented with this particular mark. Is a manager, is a software developer, is a, and accountant is a. These three persons are nothing but the employees. So I am forming a new entity by combining the common characteristics which are there in the other entities. So that is the reason I have told you people that this is a bottom up approach. Bottom up approach. We are having a common characteristic called employee characteristics in this thing. So we are making one more new entity called employee, so that we can store that particular details into a single table. Okay, and see, specialization is reverse of this. Specialization is nothing but the reverse of this, I can say specialization. This is the bottom up approach, this is the top down approach. Means to say that when you are talking about the bottom up approach, we are taking the common characteristics from these particular things and we are creating one more new entity. But in this top down approach, we can say that consider a person. Person will be having his name, person will be having his ID, person will be having his own details. But depending on the sector he is working, he may be a student, he may be a faculty, he may be some employee, he may be some other way he will be working also, right? Person is a student. See this, both are similar to one another, but it is a bottom up approach, it is a top down approach. Person can be a student, person can be a teacher, person can be a employee, person can be anything, right? All of them are under a similar category called person. Okay, like that we can categorize, we can have a similar characteristics in order to derive the entities. If you are deriving it from the number of entities to a single entity, then that will become a generalization. If you are deriving from a common one entity to number of entities, then that will become a specialization. So this is how we will be having a things in which we can derive the entities from the existing entities. Okay, sometimes you people may ask to convert the even entity relationship model into table, or as the relational model I can say. You people can easily convert it. I don't want to drag it. Okay, I don't want to say much more about it. So consider this employee is my entity. Employee is my entity. Then employee will be having his ID, name, department number in which he is working. Okay, he will be having some salary details. He will be having a lot of things, but I am taking few examples over here. Works for some company, RS works for some project. Project is also a N. Project will be having its number. Project will have its name. Projects will be there in some department. Okay, like this will be having some projects. Okay, I am saying employee works for this project. Employee works for particular departments. We can have one department. This project is for this department. This employee is working for this department. Department will be having department ID, department name, department location. It may be located in Hyderabad, it may be located in Mumbai. So if I want to convert them into tables, I will take employee table. Employee is consisting what? Employee ID, name, and then department number, and then salary. This is the first table. And I will be having what? Department table over here. In this, department number and department name. In the same way, I can create what? Project. So see, this department number is common over here now, so we can establish the relation between them. Here also they are having the common department number, we can establish. And project will be this project will be maintained for by some employee, right? Employee number will be there. So by the employee ID, we can maintain the relationship between project and employee. Like this, we can convert the given entity relationship into relational model also. That's it for now. I hope it is clear to you. These are the small definitions I can say. It's very important in order to understand the concepts. That's it for now. See you in the next one. Thank you.